Okay, it's going on too long. Welcome to Conversation 473. I hope everyone had a wonderful day today with Monday, holiday here in Grenada. Conversation 473 is broadcasting from St. George's in Grenada. Rolanda is here, Kitaka is here, and we're joined by a very special guest this evening, Rudolph. One of the topics we're discussing tonight is the situation being faced by bus drivers and owners across the country. There's this big issue with the impact that the coronavirus measures have had on them, and what is going on. They're asking for an increase in fares. The government is resisting, and so Rudolph is going to be talking to us about this situation. We've got one of the voices we're going to be hearing from is a voice of an actual bus driver who is in the middle of all of this. Also, later on in the program, we're going to talk about the George Floyd incident in the United States. That situation continues to be hot. Celebrities have come out. We're going to show a piece that LL Cool J did, that he was prompted to do because of that incident. And if there is time on the program, we're also going to chat a little bit about the repatriation of a group of Grenadians in the UK, governments of the Caribbean, using the opportunity to have their citizens come home, since the British government chartered a plane to bring their citizens back to the United Kingdom. Conversation 473 is on. Viewers, I welcome you to the program and invite you to share the live. Get your friends in on the conversation. We welcome your comments, of course. I'm sure people are going to have a lot to say regarding the bus situation, since that is affected. It's going to impact thousands of people, including scores of bus drivers and conductors. So, Rudolph, welcome to the program. Kitaka, Rolanda.
Well, good night to you, Kalestra and company.
So, Rolanda, you're looking quite lovely tonight.
Oh,
You
thank
look like
you.
you look like you had a spa day.
Oh, I had my spa day on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday,
It shows.
I went to the I started. I was very anxious to put my money where my mouth is. So I went over yesterday to hand over my check to my to the one of the shop in my village, as I had promised. I said 20%, but I'm giving 25% sorry, of my salary. As I've always said, we are all one step away from the village. It does not matter if we live in Lansepine or wherever it is. And I believe that we have to give back, because I'm giving back to the people that looked after me. So I was really.
Okay. Well, that's really great to hear. All
Kalita,
hands on deck
come
there.
on,
And
please.
Kitaka, what's up with the mask now? I see you all masked up and stuff. What's
I
going
can
on with
I can
that?
I can breathe. I can breathe, Kalista. I can breathe.
Okay, and so we're gonna be back. Rudolph is at the bottom of our screen right there, and he's gonna be talking to us about the bus situation. We'll take a commercial break right now. A word from Mount Pure Mineral Water, and we will be right back with the discussion.
It is time for Grenada to define for herself what independence means.
What has happened here this morning has made me feel confident to face the future with fortitude, strength, and with hopefulness.
People begin to understand that our lives don't have to be so hard. Things can change,
We are all currently facing the same crisis and very similar challenges, and no one can afford to be myopic or bigoted in this fight. We have no choice but to work together.
We have heard the call, and we are determined to come out of this pandemic greater than we entered.
Welcome back to the program. Rudolph, let's start with you. As of now, government continues to resist the request by bus drivers to have the fares increased in order to offset some of the impact of COVID-19. Is that correct?
Well, actually, Kalistra and the group here, we is not about the fear so much. This issue we've been speaking about. Well, I had the opportunity to speak about that issue before, but it wasn't about the increase in bus fare. It was about the condition of the road, how many humps in the road, and the material that they use that could have been getting the road taken care of, repaired, and have it in a better frame, a better state, so to speak. And these are the things we are speaking about, and what is it they're going to in terms of fuel and the expenses that they were entail and so forth. We was looking forward to hear what is it they have to come up with. What happened that Corona come up now, and that was a good excuse that we now going to say that they cannot do it. So we never mention about the fear. And if you're talking about the fear, that fear we're talking about is not an increase. It's part of the fear that was not paid. And so if you're asking now, it would have been only 50 cents added to what was not there if that is the case. But I don't think that is so much the case. We're still waiting to hear exactly what is it our proposal is going to deal with. They will deal with it as, and then we come in together now as a body to form the association to make sure that we have things in place, as we once mentioned, me and you, in order for us to get something taken care of. Because without an association, you cannot really have much of a voice to speak and to get any result from it. So we're coming together as a body to get things in place so that whatever we're asking for, we will have a way and we will have someone to be a part of the head to speak of on our behalf. What is it we need to get done and how it's going to be taken care of? Because we also mentioned now, as we are in the middle of the year, the insurance and the amount of passengers that we're supposed to be carrying, we want to know who is going to take care of the other half that we are not going to be getting paid for because the year is already come half now. So what is it we're going to do in order to pay the insurance? Because when the police stop you on the road, they're asking you for a valid insurance to be legally on the road operating. So, and that light, we making sure that we get answers towards that what I'm speaking about here now. Yeah.
And in your meetings with have you guys had an opportunity to actually meet? I know the Grandans Bus Association, who they are well organized and have a strong association. But have you guys on the western side been able to meet with any government officials on this at all yet?
Well, I wouldn't say Ghanaians have a strong association. They put things in place because of the volume of buses that they have traveling on the south side. What is going to happen? We hasn't met with them, but we put things in place like in document certain things. That is something me and you spoke about too. Document certain things to meet with the minister, and they are going to speak on the issue where they're going to tell you about how to sanitize and how the bus will be sanitized and how much passenger, including bus driver and conductor and those kind of stuff. So we're looking forward to hearing what come out from that package that we're putting together before meeting the minister and hear what the minister is going to say on our behalf, what we have in place. We still not yet copied everything and get the package together yet. So I can't say very much on as to what took place, but as far as the information reached to me, is that what they asked for to get ourselves stronger than we are is that has been sent in and waiting for a response from there.
So they still won't do anything or make any promises or any agreements unless there is a formal association.
Well, that is basically what they're asking for. And then when we look at it, we get to realize in order for how the things going there, if there's association in Grenville, there's one in Granans, and putting ourselves now together with if it's the western side, as far as I know, is that Guav has doing what we have to do now. And that is what we're getting together for Guav. So for Sotes, we're not sure what is going to happen if Sotes is going to join with us. But for now, we're just organizing that St. John's Bus Association is going to come on stream, and then we will know what will be taking place from there.
And when are the buses scheduled to begin operating normal operations again?
When we will be doing normal operation?
Yeah, when is the government putting you guys back on the road?
The government not putting us back on the road. No. We waiting to hear what is it we have to meet with them and what we're discussing to actually know where we stand in terms of how the document has reached them, when it reached them, and what is it they're coming back with from what has taken from us to the minister's office or the permanent secretary or whoever it is. Yeah.
So what about things like I know that you have to pay a fee to use the bus terminus, and this is something that is not going to be taking money out of government does not actually take money out of their pockets to fulfill anything like that. So have they said are the bus drivers asking for the fees that are charged at the bus terminus for use of the terminus? Are you asking for that to be waived as well? Are you asking government to give you a break on that for the time being?
Well, that is something in terms of as it is at the moment. We hasn't spoke anything on that, as we know most of us been paying something like what 250 or 250. I think that's basically what we're paying, and so we also looking towards dealing with that also. That would be a part of the discussion also. So we'll know exactly how beneficial it is for us from when that document comes from the minister's or the permanent secretary's office to let us know what is going to take place from there. Yeah.
The increase that is being asked for, I know you explained that an increase was pending some years ago. I suppose it was never applied for various reasons. Some bus drivers did not go ahead and do it, and so on. So what you are saying is that the fee that is the fares that are being charged now are still 50 cents below what they're actually supposed to be, and to say an increase in fares would be to ask for $1 because it would be 50 cents from the past and 50 cents now to deal with the corona situation. But government has said no, they believe that is going to be a burden on the passengers, that 50 cents on the fare is just not something that they think the population can cope with right now. But given the expenses that you guys have, the difficulties that you faced even before the coronavirus, the wear and tear on your vehicles because the government has not been able to or refused to fix out the nation's roads, do you think the government is being fair to bus drivers by making you seem unreasonable and greedy for asking for such a small amount?
Well, I would not say that. I wouldn't say that. And the whole point about it is with the fare as it is, and the how they're going to handle us as bus drivers and conductors or owners or whatever the case you might call it. Um, the fear they're talking about, we've been speaking about that before the corona and coronavirus come along, and they will take the opportunity now, say it is hard for the workers or the passengers or whatever the case may be. But then they will always be searching for a reason why they will have to handle us like this, because if the people and them, cost of living, the price of goods and services and workers and salary and so forth, nobody has done anything on that, and nobody is going to do anything, and nobody will do anything because they never have the intention of doing anything on the behalf of the passengers, workers, or whatever the case may be, because the union and them at the same time too, they will glad for now to use that as an excuse. Because if you are speaking about something that is like before now, which that situation was not there, and we was also speaking about these things is possibly could happen, they never do anything. So now it happened that they will speak to tell you that the coronavirus is out now and it is hard on the passengers. Then we still remain with the same road condition. We still remain with all the humps in the road. Some of the humps that is in the road could have been fixing part of the areas that need fixing or need repairs and hasn't done. So everything will come like a bundle right about now, and a bundle of losses for everybody. That's the excuse. And I mean, that is unfair to turn around and tell us, if we cannot walk the bus, then how are we going to get transport? So something have to be done. The fuel price, it will be going up and down as usual, not changing, not making any difference to us. Every time Thursday we should always get on, we have to think like a pig. We're going to be killed either this Thursday or the next Thursday, or whatever the case may be. So we don't know exactly where we stand with what they have to say, or what is it we looking at there. Yeah.
But how would the busmen, how do you see yourselves coping? You have insurance to pay, you have tires to buy, gas, petrol to put in the vehicles, um, other expenses that you must meet, but the government is now asking you to cut your rent when you begin to operate full time again. The government is asking you to cut your revenue by 50% or more in terms of the amount of people that you have to take per seat. So if the government cries poverty and says they can't do anything for you guys, they can't subsidize you or help in any way to make up for the shortfall, how will bus drivers be able to cope? I mean, some of you have mortgages. It's not just the insurance. A guy might say, okay, fine, I'm going to park up the bus if I can't afford the insurance, but still you have to continue paying the bank. How will you guys cope?
Well, this is something that is one of the things I've been asked. The question I've been asking while we were in two separate meetings. We met, and I was asking the question. The first question I asked is, they take out on the amount of passengers, and the question I was asking, how many 6 feet you could get in 15? So I need to know how much 6 feet you could get in 15. That's one. And then who is going to speak to the insurance when they turn around and say to you that they would not be able to do anything? And when you would have started the year to start to save up for your insurance, or rather to have it get ready for the insurance to be paid, we cannot do it no more. And then now you turn around and say that we have to carry, if we had to carry 19 persons, we had to carry what, 11 or 12 for the most. And then you will be going up with the 12. You may not be coming down with any, because definitely speaking that there is a time when you have to cut off in the evening to carry people. Is more like you're carrying up and not down. And if you're carrying down, you'll be carrying down, down, down. And then you have nothing to carry up until you wait for a certain time of day. So we're taking that into consideration. So the insurance is who we need to know who is going to meet with them. And you're asking us because the insurance, we are licensed and insured, to carry 19 persons. And if you take out from the 19 to bring it to whatever figure it is, whether it's 12 or 13, we still have an insurance policy to pay. That's what the police will be on the road asking for. You have to have a legal insurance, not a valid and a legal insurance, or you have to be legal on the road, and that's what they're looking for. So if nobody speak about it on our behalf, it means to say that it's a struggle that we will have to deal with. And on top of that, the condition of the road, what eating up all the tires and so forth, then you have other parts of wear and tear that you have to deal with. So we're only looking forward to see if we could find the Almighty God to show us the next way of meeting the next part of that money, because we're not sure we're going to make anything. And it's a volume of the bus, same amount of buses that will be on the road. We're running against each other there. Yeah.
Mm. But interestingly, there are things that the government has control of. I mean, they can immediately decrease the price of petrol because, the taxation on the petrol is what contributes to the high cost as well. So this is something within their grasp that they can do. They can cut your fees at the bus terminus. They can give you concession on parts and tires. And so even if they're not dipping into the treasury to give you cash to subsidize the empty seats, but they can actually, give you subsidies in other areas, which is why I am wondering why it is taking so long for government to come up with a specific package for an industry that is so critical. The transportation industry is part of our essential services. You can't put the workforce back to work without proper transportation. And so it's very concerning that even in those areas where while it would cost the country money, it's not actually cash out of the pocket, that they are not doing those things. Tell me, how far away is the Guave buses, the Western buses, how far away, the Guave ones in particular, Guave, Grand Roy, and so, from forming yourselves into an association? When will the formal body be announced?
We has done last week. We has done the putting together what we supposed to be doing as a body. So that, as I say, that is documented now and went in. So I will get to find out from the president or the other vice president and so forth. I guess we will have to have another meeting to know exactly how that document reach in and when it's going to be released. So we're going to know whether yes, we are official St. John's Bus Association and those kind of thing. We will get to
Who?
know that. So say it
No,
again.
I was asking, who is the president? Who is the new president?
We have Chupa as the president. That is Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
So we have him as the president, and we have the vice president. It would have been maybe Perry or one of them. And so we waiting now from the we will continue keeping in touch with each other to know what's taking place and the way forward. So we'll know exactly, or soon we're going to know exactly what we need to get done, take care of. Yeah.
Okay, so the documents that you prepared a couple of months ago, that document you've actually presented, you've sent that in, because I know you had a list of things that you were asking government for even then, that had to do with the survival and the better operations of the buses on the western side. You were able to hand that into Minister Gregory Bowen. You were able to submit it to Ministry of Works.
No, I hasn't gotten that. By the time I reached to getting the number of bosses and owners, then the lockdown come in. So
Okay,
not much I was able to get done. I
on
have the
that.
list of numbers I have so far, so I hasn't sent in anything. But with what happening with us now as the association, then it means to say that we have these things, and then would have been something we talk about, and we could talk about it again. So that in itself would make it more official now as we come as a body,
Okay,
where
all
we
right.
need these assistant then. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to wish you and all of this is about time, as much time as we have for that segment of the program. I want to wish you and the rest of the bus drivers on the western side, some of you whom I know personally, good luck in this. Certainly, government needs to do right by the transportation sector. You are part of the important part of the national development landscape, and giving you subsidies is the right thing to do at this time, particularly because the government is going to insist and demand that you take certain precautionary measures. So when you come back on the road, stay safe, stay healthy, and I good luck with your negotiations with the government.
Thank you
So
very much.
the all right. This
Thank
is
you very much, and
conversation. Go ahead,
thank you very
Rudolph.
much.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks very much, as you said so, and we're looking forward to be upgrading our demands and putting it all together, checking as much as possible to know the benefit is not just about us, but it will be beneficial to the public in as much as it will be so difficult to have dealings with the public too, because they themselves have their way of doing the things in out of rage and frustration, and I doesn't know what causing that. But I hope this situation that turn up now, they get a little bit more wiser and understand exactly the importance of us being around with them to give them a service. And looking forward to see we get a better use the road, better attention, and I hope that will just bring sense to the whole public, ministers and prime ministers and everybody, so that they will understand exactly what is the need of what the service that we have to provide calls for. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for coming on the program, Rudolph, from the Guelph Bus Association, the newly formed Guelph Bus Association. as you know, the busmen facing a challenge here with government during the coronavirus crisis that we have been facing. So, Kitaka, the next topic we're looking at is the situation with George Floyd in the United States. That continues to be a major issue. I know we had something from LL Cool J that we wanted to run before. Do we have it?
Yeah, I'm going to play it right now.
For 400 years, you had your knees on our necks. A garden of evil with no seeds of respect. In America's mirror, all she sees is regret. Instead of letting blood live, they begging for bloodlet. Revenge is a dish that's served on platelets. Transfusion of confusion, abusing our intellect. I can't be bought with a $1,200 check, even though $1,200 can make a meal stretch. My mama wasn't rich, but she earned my respect. She made a little bit of money for a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. Jumping up and down on police cars, I'm vexed. After Chauvin killed George Floyd, we got next. Molotov cocktails, anarchy on the set. The rich took the loot, so now we loot shit. Feeling like a caged tiger that's whipped to do tricks. That's why I started fires and yelled and threw bricks. They tried to run me over and arrest me and shit. Tase pepper spray and engage with the kid. They ran up in the state house with them AKs quick. But let a nigga try and do that white boy shit. Won't be no rubber bullets ricocheting off ribs. But the white supremacists go in the cops' face and spit. Try to barbecue, Becky call the cops on the kid. Hoping and praying it'd be some Emmett Till shit. Sandra wasn't bland, they hated Mike cause he brown. Trayvon should have had an Aston Martin riding around. Amadou Diallo, it's way too many to follow. Vato, how much of my pride I gotta swallow? God only knows how deep this plan goes. I was dealing with this shit as a teen in Kangos. Harassed by cops, word to my ancestors' souls. And watching that man die slow left a hole. He cried for his mama as the murder unfold. If it wasn't for them phones, Chauvin would be at home. Feeling justified because of George's skin tone. I'm telling it to those with melanin, you're not alone. The new Malcolm, Martin, and Marcuses are now grown. America's a graveyard full of black men's bones. And I ain't got to tell you that Breonna Taylor got slayed in her own home. Had they lived, Sean could have rocked bells. Eric could have garnered attention. Beyond the t-shirts and obituary mentions. Oscar could have been counting grants. Tamir could have went to Rice. They owed them cops nothing, but all of them paid the price. So yeah, you right. We should protect our Second Amendment rights. Cause in a second, a dirty cop can kick the door in at night. A tooth for a tooth and a life for a life. We refuse to live in hell while you living in paradise. Being black in America's like rolling a pair of dice. But the stakes are way higher, you gambling with my life. Black lives matter. Forever.
My man, LL Cool J, spitting out some anger and a lot of emotion there in that piece, you know, prompted by the George Floyd killing in Minneapolis. So, Kitaka, I know Miss McQueen gets very emotional about what the black boys and the black men face and the George Floyd situation is certainly a big deal right now. I know that Chauvin, the cop who killed him, the police officer who killed him, has been arrested and charged. The autopsy report is seeming to say that the man that Floyd had underlying conditions, that he had other problems, and that he had substances in his body, and that it wasn't just the choking him, but I don't think that whatever underlying conditions he had would have killed him that day in that moment if someone was not pressing their knee to his neck. And Kitaka, I think today you were updating me that Donald Trump, is saying that he's going to send in the soldiers to quell the riots.
Yep, I looked at a press conference just before the show. He's instructing governors to utilize the National Guard and heavier force to put it to an end. And if they don't do so, then he's going to take an executive position to send in the U.S. Army to deal with the situation.
And a whole bunch of black men in the U.S. Army going in to help fight a war against the anger against a wrong done against their own people. And have you been following it, Miss McQueen? Have you been following what's happening in the
Yeah,
Gulf Coast? Have you had time?
yeah, Kalishu, this is no, that's no news to me. Remember, I'm the mother. People talk about America, but the same things happens in England. The difference is the police are not armed to the tooth, so you find our black guys are not being killed. But if you go, as I said before, into into the prisons, into the mental institute, there they are. It makes me angry and it makes me very sad because as a black mother living in any white European or American country, there is a fear that you have. The only time I can sleep at night is when my son is in Grenada. When your child or your husband or your uncle or your nephew or your cousin walk out of your door, you cannot rest until they return. You worry about who is going to kill them because everybody's trying to kill them. When, we just heard now that we had some deportees coming back. Black people are treated like shit all over, especially young black men. And that is the reason why I get upset, even here, even speaking to the bus driver. It seems like they have to always be struggling. It seems like the only time people are pleased to see a black man is when they are committing crime. When they try to do something that is right, people on their back. So it seems like they drive them into crime. It seems like the system is designed to drive black men to commit crime because that is all that is left. They try to do something legal, they press them down. They try to, it is hurtful. It hurts me. And one of the things I will do, I will stand up and I will fight with them. Ask the people in England, your child would be handcuffed, and I'm speaking from experience, and be tasered for nothing. You think these kids and them, these young black boys and them, they suffer. When you see a black man come back to Grenada and they tell you they've been to prison, please do not judge them because you do not know what they have been through. Right? What they have been through. The deporting people down here, right? For very small crime. Do you know the immigration law in England? If I wasn't a British citizen and I had my son in England at 29 and he did something wrong, just very simple, they would deport him. They use marijuana to criminalize all our young men. They find them with a little bit of split. All what they want is their DNA. Before you spit, before you turn, the first thing they do, they're collecting DNA so they could study us. It's very, very painful. And what I saw happen to this guy, my granddaughter, who is 10, called me and she said, Grandma, what have we done? Why do they hate us? You know what I think? And people may not like that. You know what I said to her? I am not my ancestors, what they said to us, I'm not going to say to them. Some have to die for others to be free. And you have to have a brave heart. You have to stand up and you have to fight. What I saw happen to my son, I cannot stand up and see it happening to my grandson. My grandson is 10. The police has no age. It will take a little. I've seen 10-year-old been stopped on the street in London and been searched. They make them. It's sad what happened to the gentleman
George Floyd.
George Floyd, but it's
George
nothing
Floyd.
new. It's nothing new. It's something that is there all the time. And that is the reason why I am asking the police here, let us respect our black men. Let us respect them. If they get out of hand, let us speak to them. Remember, the police was used for slaves, to chase slaves, to run down slaves, the runaway slaves and them. So let us get that mentality out of our head. When a black young man do something, treat him with respect. Start humiliating them, start making them feel small. Speak to them. This is our brother. This is your brother. That is the only how we can rise up and we can get together. Stop the humiliation.
And Kitaka, you said you were watching a news conference. Anything else came out of the news
Yeah.
conference?
Well, for me, all right. I kind of looking at this in a way that I fed up. I fed up. I'm fed up with the continuous process of this happening, and no serious movement is not being made to ensure that the black community is has that level of respect and equality across the board. I sometimes wonder if that is possible within the American system. When you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, trying to go and reason it out and talk it out and smooth it out has not been working. Protesting peacefully has not been working. Even burning down a few places has not been working. So I think this is always a time for the black community to really unify themselves in a serious, consolidated way. And let me try some other methods to ensure that our black brothers and sisters don't have to go through what we all have witnessed that Floyd go through. I mean, it pains the heart of everybody to see someone on their knee, gasping for bread, and have that life sucked out of them. It did something to a lot of people in the world. I mean, right now, a lot of emotions are flaring. A lot of us are angry. A lot of us want to change. A lot of us feel like just destroying everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really have to use that energy wisely now. Because when I was doing some research today, and interestingly, a strong piece of statistic come to me. Do you know that in 2018, based on the statistics, the black people in America, 50 million or so of them, spent at least $1.2 trillion? Do you know that the companies and them in America every day just try to see how they could make sure that they could tap into the black spending? When the iPhone come out, when the next PS2 come out, and Black Friday sale, who they in front waiting to march down the store to spend their money? The black community. So even on a deeper level, finding a way how to use the resources better and to spend better to help to build our black community. Going home from the sports games and so on and going home and spend time with your children and your black boys and educating them and teaching them how to be self-sufficient and how to learn the technology and to become trained in warfare and all those things. So if you go down that road to be able to protect yourself, I think we have a lot of internal work to do to unify ourselves, to bridge the gap, so that we can really be prepared to take on the battles that we have to fight. Because it doesn't seem, and I don't think our oppressor is going to hand you the tools. So if he's not going to hand you the tools, to send Lavature, and then was not given the tools to come out on the plantation.
If I,
They was not given the tools, and so we have to we have to create the tools and make things happen, and not just allow the opportunity thing to keep repeating over and over again, and no serious change to happen because I'm tired.
Kitaka, 400 years ago, our ancestors landed on America's shore. How many years again do we have to wait? Some of you young guys you have to stop being cowards and stand up and die so people can be free. God forbid that my child was to be died fighting for. I prefer he die fighting for freedom than to die underneath the way I saw Floyd Lloyd died. I prefer to see him stand up fighting. Right? There was a lot of slaves that stood up and fight. 400 years, we're still talking. It's time to talk. As Louis Farrakhan said, let us fight. Some will die, and then we will talk. The talking have to stop. We talk. We as black people always seems to be doing is talking. We've been speaking for 400 years. We should get our young men out there. When there is a war in England, I see kids, you're hearing stories of young men running away to go and join the army. This type of coward has to stop. All you have to get up, all you have to arm yourself, and all you have to defend. This type of thing have to stop. 400 years, we're still talking about what? As I said, if somebody called me now and said my son died fighting for his belief and for his people, rather than fighting with a man knee breaking his neck, it's time that type of cowardness stop.
Yeah, well, Ms. Markin, you say time the cowardness stop, but I understand the point you're making, but I also understand that there has to be some kind of level of planning going into this as well. You can just run into the battlefield.
But how long are we going to? We've been negotiating for 400 years.
I'm talking about negotiation. We're talking about within your house, within my household, with your children, and so on. Things have to be put in place to make the strategy most effective. Because you could run out in front. You could run out in front with no planning, no plan B, no plan C, and the American army or whatever force you're going up against could just wipe you out in less than time.
The Willie Lynch syndrome. Let me tell you how we was programmed. This is the reason why you find so many black mothers that are single parents. Because you know why? The system is designed, especially for us, that the black man, like with the housing that we have, and I hope with the government here do not do the same. When you hear you have the housing, the projects, they give it to women. They put only the woman name on that list. So when the husband comes in there, as soon as he upset them, the woman will turn around and tell the men to go, leave, go, because they have no time. We have brought the black man down so low that we do not even, there is no respect. I remember when I was growing up and my mother took the food out, the first person food that she put aside was my father. After my father, she will give the children and then her. Now, when you go, the men don't even get in the food. There is no respect. We have no respect whatsoever for our men. Right? And that is how the system works. The system works against our men. That's why you see them in the street. There is no respect for them whatsoever. And we continue to do that. And that is the reason why they frighten us. They tell we the black parents that's why we're bringing up weak men. Because when in the time of slavery, they used to call the mothers and show us what they are doing to our boys. Right? They will castrate them in front of their mother and they will say to us, you see the other little niggas and them you have? If they do not behave themselves, this is exactly what is going to them. So what we have done, we have money and we have cuddled our boys because we are so frightened of them being killed by our slave owners that we really protect them. Now it's time for we to let them loose and stop this type of cuddling and let them go out there and be the warriors that they are.
Yeah, but voice marking for me, I agree with some of the sentiments, but I'll go back to the point again. This is not a game, eh? This is not PlayStation, this is not Xbox, this is real life. And I feel to a certain extent, at this stage of preparedness, I would say that kind of a level of warfare, we're not ready for that yet. To be honest with you, we have to go we have to go to our drawing board, we have to go in the jungle, we have to go by the river, and we have to strategize and come and channel Shaka Zulu and Toussaint Louverture and Julian Fedon and all of them and really come proper, because this is not politic. This is where you have robots coming to shoot you. This is drones coming after you. This is gun like shooting like a laser beam. You understand?
Listen.
We have to get that right. But let me finish the point. Because even right now, with Trump calling the National Guard and the Army to come onto the streets, the little guys and them that are running around in the protest with their phone and their pants falling down, they're so fit to run and hide and so on. That is like a sitting dog, That is like a suicide mission, Because you don't know army gear, you don't have no bulletproof vest, no tank, no anything. So we have to think, we will get emotional and run into the battle, but I think we have to think and we have to strategize and go back to the drawing board, in my opinion.
I don't think you understand the power of when people get together. Listen, they're going to be fighting robots. Are all their people going to be in the sky with the robots? We are talking, listen, I don't think you realize, Hillary Clinton says, they are having some young black guys growing up and she called them superhuman. Do you realize most of these black guys and them in America and England and places, they do not care about robots. They do not care about what firing. There are white people, innocent white people on the ground next door neighbors. Right? If you go for me, because it's most of these things, what it is racist. If you go for me and I go for that racist person next door to me, What is it? What is the firing from the sky going to be? Are they going to take all the white people and put them to one side and just fire on black people, or just going to fire the white people are spread all over the place? Not the, we have to, I think if we were to think like that, 400 years we'll be still thinking the same, right? It is time to stop thinking. And there are a lot of white people you've seen there that has stood up with us and fight for our freedom. A lot of them would die, as a lot of we black people would die. But we cannot be frightened of dying. We cannot worry about the firing behind us.
You're not worrying about that, but you're trying to come up with a strategy that will make you successful. That will make you successful. Not a strategy where you go out and you get blown away, and then you still have to go back and plan. If you understand what I say, because
some have to die for others. Look at what Winnie Mandela did.
Yeah, we understand that, but this is a new era, and I think we have the tools, we have the resources, and we have it to
Where have we got it?
What we
have is our strength. What we have is our strength. People are frightened of our strength. Listen, they didn't take Chinese to make slave because all would have died. They didn't take Indians to make slave. All would have died. You know why they took us? They took us because we are strong, right? And they are frightened of our strength, right? As I said, a lot will die, but we will kill a lot as well. And then we're going to sit on the table. I cannot stand as a mother, right? I know the pain. Right? I am down here now when I'm worrying about when I cannot go to bed at night and turn my phone off because I don't know what police that is going to try and run my son down. Right? Our guys, our young men in America, Europe, they're like slaves. They're still being chased around. Right? What all you see in Grenada here is a little policeman, down the road, maybe trying to do that. These kids and them is fighting every day for their life. It's nothing what all you see here in Grenada. In America, you see people coming back. Anybody I meet and they tell me they was in jail in America or Europe, I would never judge them because a lot of innocent ones go to prison. I've seen the system. One of the reasons I come back to Grenada, if you don't come back in this country, remember they say we just come down mad? What do you think making us mad? Is the system up there. When my parents went to England, they said no dog, no blacks, right? These people and them could not have even get homes to go and stay in, right? Still they stay up there, they work, they same thing, and they've been treated like dog. My auntie on her dying bed, she turned around and she said to me, England finished her. We've worked so hard, my ancestors, to build England, to build America, and look at how they are treating our kids. I am not going to say to my grandson who is 10 and my granddaughter who is 10 when she said, Grandma, what do we do? Why? I would say to them, listen, I am not going to say what my ancestors says. What you have to do, you have to have a brave heart and you cannot have any fear and fight. Fight back.
Well, that word fight can be looked at literally or it can be looked at in a deeper way. Because let's say, for instance, and I always like to use this example of China. I remember when the Chinese dynasty fell and China was a big world power and they fall down and they're going through famine and struggle and all types of things and the whole world write them off as nothing. Everybody, China was like dot of the world. They didn't get vexed and quarrel, you know what they do? They prepare themselves. They plan, they structure themselves, and they work and they work and they build a network across the world. They sponsor things all over the world. They give people scholarship to come in their place. And they start to produce everything that the world needs. China is like the largest producer in the world right now. Everybody needs them to the point now where China could dominate the world based on smartically, intelligently putting things in place. So my thing is, I understand the anger. I feel the pain, but we have to be smart because I want us to be successful in the next couple of years. I want us to be successful today. You understand? And for me, I would not agree in just telling a black man just get up crazy and just run out in front of a gun and bullet and feel he's Superman. No matter how strong he is, we have to balance that and be realistic too. Because we at home now, and I have a problem with that too, you know. We at home now, open up our computer and our phone. We're not on the streets in Minnesota and so on. You know. With the people, you know. So we gassing up the people to go and burn down place and do things. And we here sit down nice, comfortable in the house, and not with a facing the situation. So we have to be wise in the situation, Miss McQueen, because I want us to be successful. Marcus Garvey and them work too hard for this thing, for us to be going through that still. And if them men was here right now, they would have used that technology we have and all the things. You know how much money we as the black community have, you know how much power we have. If we could invest that properly to set up these structures and them to liberate us. We're talking about liberation on a full level. We're not talking about lock up to police. We're talking about serious liberation, holistic liberation. Where that pressure down with black boys and black girls. This is not a fly by night mumbo jumbo thing. We're talking about
Kitaka, no other race has been through what we have been through. You cannot compare us with China. Nobody has been through what we have been through, right? We've been torn apart. We've been, if we want to go back to the Bible, it said 400. Even if God comes calling, and they said we are the chosen people, we still wouldn't hear his call. We would still be sitting down waiting. I don't know, waiting on what. We are the only race that has been through what we have been through. The only thing I would call for is unity, and the only thing that would unite us. Is it Harriet Hammond that said she freed 1,000 slaves, and she could have freed 10,000 more if only they knew that they were slaves. We are under attack. We've been under attack for 400 years, right? And we cannot keep sitting down and speaking. Even it seems like there is more white people fighting for us and telling us, fight for your freedom. When you look in America, you look anywhere, there is so many white people there fighting with us. Most of us are still hiding. We're scared. We're scared of dying.
But really, our problem is, and I think it's been imprinted on our DNA to hide, to be afraid, and we hide in various ways. One of the ways we hide, I mean, look at the black people in America who make it big, especially the stars, the ones who you see out there. I mean, look at Kanye West, such a disgrace to the black race. Seriously, right? And what they would do, they're busy putting weave in their hair and the way they would present themselves and dress themselves to imitate the white people, especially the women, to imitate the white women. Then you go over in Africa and you look at that situation there where the black leaders are, yes, the imperialists. They would have robbed and raped and scraped countries in Africa, but countries gained independence and had black leaders who went ahead to commit even greater atrocities in their own countries, stealing the resources and not making the citizens the first priority. And I think black people are the biggest problem, because if we were to unite across the world and recognize ourselves in each other, and recognize across the continent of Africa, in the United States, across the Caribbean, we may find that we are strong enough to break the back of this oppression that we have faced for the longest while. And it may not even be necessary to pick up arms. And even picking up arms is unrealistic because we have not sufficiently mobilized and organized ourselves to even wage a war of violence to get our freedom. You may find that the people in the United States might attempt to use violence to deal with the situation. You know what's going to happen with that situation in Minneapolis if it continues? They're going to send in force.
So what?
And given the president,
what?
Given the president that they have now, it would be a massacre.
So
and
what?
I don't think that
So what?
Anyway. Well, let me finish, Kitaka, if you don't mind. Can I finish? The bottom line is that this would be the outcome, but how many people are going to be willing to stand when the bullets begin to fly? Not the black people with the type of mentality. I mean, I looked at the footage and I saw a lot of people protesting, and I saw people looting. And I looked at the faces of the people who were looting, and they were black people. That didn't look like a protest to me. They were looting. And
How
this is
many?
the
So
mentality.
what?
That is the mentality of the black
So
people.
what? So no. I don't agree with that. That is the mentality of the black people. How many? Listen, white people loot in Africa every day, and even the Caribbean. So what if they were to go and grab a few Nike trainers? We've been looted every day. Even in Grenada, we've just lost $1 billion from white people taking Grenadian money. So what is if the black people go and break open a few Nike shops and take something, right? $1 billion we in Grenada here have lost. Right, so I don't like when people what you were saying. I don't agree with it at all. I'm turning
Well,
around also.
the evidence of how we as a race have conducted ourselves and conducted our business in the last 400 years since slavery ended tells the story. The fact that after centuries, we are still burdened and oppressed by the attempt to make us feel inferior. By now, all of this history, all of this information, we still don't know and have an appreciation of our superiority collectively. A black guy gets murdered in broad daylight in front of everybody, and it's an opportunity to take a stand and, yes, burn some buildings and get angry and get mad about it. What are grabbing Nike trainers for? Black people too into Nike trainers and long and false eyelashes and all of that. We are too superficial, and maybe it's part of where we've come from, the suffering we have gone through or whatever that's made us that way. But I just don't think that we deal with the matters in a substantial way.
Kalisha,
You know,
every black president, African president that is going to work for the people, his people, they are murdered. They massacred. Any good president that we have. Tell me one. The West put who they want in. Even I'd be surprised. Even in the Caribbean, they put who they want in to be in government. That is how they control, and that is the reason why you find in prison. I don't call them prison. I call them slave camp. In America, in England, everywhere, even here, they have so many young black men there. Why? Because they are a protector. If they put them inside or in jail, right? When you look at the black population in America with the proportion that is in prison, everybody speaks about it. I think even the president of Indonesia was saying, look at the way America treats its black citizens. Right, so there is nothing. Listen, even when during the time of slavery, they used to make the black women cut their hair short because the white women used to get jealous. Then we started to tie our hair. So we are people that always like dressing up. We always like looking nice. I have worn weave. I didn't do it because I wanted to have long flowing hair. It didn't matter with me. It's a style. We are the type of people that set styles. We set fashion, whether it's music, whether it's dance, whether it's food. Our culture is copied all over the world. I don't think a black woman styling her hair is because she wants to look like a white woman. I think white women more want to look like us. And I have no problem if somebody wants like a hairstyle or want to tan themselves. It's not about a white person doing that or a black person doing that. What it is about, we need to be treated equally. That's all we are asking for. I don't care if somebody put on
and
weave
and
or
and
do.
and the question is, how do we get there? How do we get this equality? This fight for equality has been going on for a very, very long time. People have
We
lost
have
their
to fight.
lives for this. People
Okay.
have lost their lives for this fight for equality. And I have seen in modern times black people calling each other nigger and talking some nonsense about giving power, taking away the power of the word by using it. You know, they have come from Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman and those kinds of people to bringing the word nigger into the normal daily lives and calling each other that.
Well,
So
Kanishka, I would say this. Even the conversation we have in here now reaffirms the point I made earlier. We have to deal with our internal affairs, because even the conversations, even the divisions that we have within ourselves as Black people, we really have to be able to come together to start to have those conversations, to clean all the slate so we could see ourselves as one and connect and unite, because there's a lot of things that separated us. That perception that you would have, being on the side of the fence, who is Christian, who is Rasta, who is this, who is LGBTQ, all sorts of things. Even out in the media gets us ranting and cussing every time and gets that image to continuously hammer the stereotypes over, that keeps branding us in that kind of way and keeps fulfilling that self-fulfilling prophecy. So now is that time for me. Our internal business, even now, need to be dealt with us. And we have to really find a way to trash the things and unite with self, because that's the only way. Unity is the only way. Organization is the only way. Strategy and structure and efficient systems is the way. You cannot beat systems when you're thinking vai. If you're thinking vai and you're doing anyhow, the man that planning always will have options to deal with you. You understand what I'm saying? So we really have to get to this thing, innit? The ranting and the raving and the fighting for Papi show cannot cut it right now. And I hope that this situation now, the COVID, which open up with eyes more, George Floyd, which
No.
open up with mind more, to see how deeper this thing is, to see how deep that the focus. You can't go in war and can't feel yourself. We can't go in war and with a train and with an arm. We can be obese and have heart disease and thing and going in war. You understand? So we really have to take care of ourselves and start to handle our affairs, and with what we have, we have to make it do and take care of each other. We have to do it. We have to forget all the things that past. Oh, what I say about you, what I say behind your back, who take your man, who take your woman, all them things to forget, because we have a common shared an enemy like our COVID and the systematic racism. That they respect those things and differences that put us apart. You understand? And we have to go into solutions deeper now too. Because as Ms. Mark will say, we tired talk. As Kalistra say, we focus on priority off. So we have to put those things aside and let it come on the table. Because if not, looping it over and over and over and over.
Well, somebody called a Syrian. We've got a Syrian watching the program tonight, who is apparently taking issue. Someone called Hadi Harith, a female
What was the comment she
Syrian
made?
woman.
I'm assuming.
Well, I think, well, she's accusing one of us, I'm not sure which one of us, probably me, of not being conscious because of my comments. And also, where's the other one? Please try to fix things, do not make things worse. And okay, what you're talking about indicates that you are not conscious. I can't tell which comment that is referring to that. And then she says, "What do you think of the sabotage, or whoever the person is, Hadil Harith? What do you think of the sabotage operations that take place? Is this how the problems should be solved?" Um, so I'm not really sure what sabotage um, operations that she is referring to. Our problems, the problems of the Black race, certainly terrorism can be used to describe some of the atrocities committed against us as a people, but I'm not sure what Mr. or Miss Halil Harith is referring to. Um, but certainly consciousness, a lack of consciousness, is certainly not an issue for the panel tonight. We certainly are very aware and very conscious of all the issues, and we may see them in different ways, but our position is the same, that what we want is the empowerment and the true freedom of the Black race and an end to racism. Although an end to racism might be an unrealistic dream, I don't see an end to it, but certainly fighting for your own empowerment and fighting for your freedom, that's doable, that's possible. But we have a lot of hurdles to jump over, including our love for Nike, Miss McQueen.
Raphael, Arthur, if you put up what Raphael had said,
And you know,
his last comment.
while you're putting it up, Tommy Hilfiger, right? He said he's not what he made a public comment once, and he apologized afterwards. I believe that he's not making his clothing for Black people to wear. That he didn't care
fake.
whether Black people.
That was fake news.
That was fake news.
Yes, that was fake news. Well, if you put up what, yes, it was fake news. What Raphael Arthur said.
Did he deny it?
Yes, he did deny it. He even went on Oprah and denied it. They said that about all the designers. They even said that about Versace. He said
He
revolution.
denied it, or when he was caught, he said he tried to wrangle you out with it.
No, he denied it. I didn't believe he would have said that anyway. Raphael said, revolution in America is just beginning to take hold. The youth on the front lines are not marching peacefully no more. All the discussions have been recorded and action plans now put in place. That always ain't working no more. And I think we are in the Caribbean down here, we are sleeping. I do not think I do not realize Black people are fed up. They're not scared anymore. These kids, Hillary Clinton went on the campaign. If you see how they jailing, the type of jail sentence, right? She called the young Black boys superhuman. She said there is a set of superhuman coming now. That is the reason why when they go for them, it's like to kill them. Because can I tell you something? If this guy did not have a gun, there is no way we would have been talking about Floyd Lloyd death now. No way. It would not have gone down like that. But because obviously you saw the Chinese there, he was all loaded. The man had one foot on his neck, one hand in his pocket. If anybody had intervened, we would have had 2 murders. But if they was to come with their bare hand, Floyd Lloyd would have taken the whole 4 of them down. You know? So it's because people are scared, they are cowards. What we are saying, if you want to fight, you don't like us, that's fine. Why don't you come? I know lots of Black men out there that were prepared to defend us just using their fists, and that is what they are frightened of. They are frightened of the Black man's strength.
It's my queen.
Well, you know, I don't know.
Street fighter winning.
If we had to come straight, we will fight them straight. It doesn't matter. Come how you come. If they want, Kitaka, there is a lot of people out there that is willing to fight, and that is the reason. Why do you think the president is sending in the troops? Why do you think they're sending in the troops?
Miss McQueen, let me get it real, Miss McQueen. This is not a joke, Miss McQueen. We're talking about.
Why do you think they're sending in the troops? Why do you think they're sending in the troops? Tell me why.
Why they're sending in the troops?
Yeah.
Well, to put an end to it, Miss McQueen. What else?
But if you think that the Black guys out there are frightened of bullets coming from the sky, they're sending in the troops because they know they have started something. They have, as Raphael Arthur said, that they can't, that is the only how they're going to try to finish it. And if you listen to the people, most people do not want it because they're going to see what could happen.
Miss McQueen, rubber bullets and tear gas is joke compared to the level of artillery that you're coming up against with being unarmed. So this is not a game, and we need to be careful and responsible because this is not a game. This is not a game. This is not Call of Duty. This is real life. You understand? So we have to be serious about that.
Well, as I said, you know, as a grandmother, when my granddaughter, who is 10 years old, calling me and telling me, Granny, I am stressed. You know, she's stressed because she's scared. She sees, this is things, I sure, Kalisha, your son, I think same age with my granddaughter, I sure he never seen they never seen a Black man being on the floor, kicked and things like that. This is something everyday life. And for a Black child to be saying, Grandma, I'm stressed, what is happening? What did we do? What do I say? We have to sit down and talk. She will say, well, was it happening in your time? Yes. Was it happening in your mom's time? Yes. We had Kuta Kinte and them where they used to chop their foot. Remember, during the time of slavery, we didn't sit down, you know. Our people been fighting for 400 years. There has been a lot that been scared. But there are a lot of them that has fought. Even in Grenada here, they tell you, look at Haiti. Haiti has fought them and fought them and fought them. And now Haiti has to pay back money to France for fighting Haiti was the first, you could say, slave country that was free, that got their independence because they did not stop fighting. And what did they do to Haiti? They put all kind of sanctions against Haiti because
Miss Martin,
Haiti
Miss
refused
Martin,
to put their head
so
down.
did you know that before that Toussaint had to get arms from America and strategize his army and fight and come up with a plan to fight all the armies and them? He had to do that before. He had to
But no,
put he
you
had
know
to
what
recruit
Haiti,
in the army. He
Haiti
had to
fed
have a lot
them
of things. Hmm?
mental. The Haitians were very strong people. It wasn't about army thing. The Haitians put them with black magic. That is the reason why they always says the reason. Even now they say, you know what America say? Oh, Haiti, the Haitians believing in bad. They're not Christians. When they had the earthquake, it's because they are believing in bad. But the Haitians fought them with their religion. They fought them with their strength. They fought them with everything they got from the motherland. They stand up and they fought. In the end, they had no choice but to leave the Haitian and go. It's not the first time. Even when we had the revolution here, I always boast Grenada fought America for 4 days with all the fighting power that they had. Little Grenada stood up and fought.
What was the outcome of that fight?
It doesn't matter.
They,
It
well,
matters
It
to Miss
doesn't
it,
Martin.
no,
matter.
it matters. It no, it
Because we
matters.
stood a
No, no, no,
stand.
no,
We
no, no, no.
took a
It matters.
stand.
It matters because the outcome of that fight was that we willingly dismantled our factories, ran our heavy duty trucks over cliffs to destroy them, sold some of our agro processing plants to other countries. Dominica made refreshed soap using our plant for years, and we bought the refreshed soap as a value added product on our shelves here in Grenada. Okay, we had social problems, economic problems, identity crisis, corrupt governments. These are the impact of fighting and losing. We fought for what? We weren't better off. I mean, so at the end of the day, all of the bad things that happened to us and to our country post invasion had nothing to do with the United States. We didn't have to listen to the United States. Blaze did not have to go belly up and Brathwaite during the interim didn't have to go belly up for the United States and meet all the demands when they wanted the revolution and all of the gains of the revolution to be torn apart and destroyed. They didn't think our people would need these plants. Our economy would need these plans. These gains that we made in the revolution are things that we need to hold on to. What they wanted was the aid from America. So USAID went ahead and they gave us this and they gave us that and they gave us the other. I have not heard about USAID in decades. I think I don't know when last USAID do anything for us.
And
But
Kalishta, you make that point there.
we were willing as a people to give up all of this independence, all of this material and psychological independence that we had developed during that very short period of 4.5 years, after fighting the US for 4 days and losing, and we had nothing to show for it. And it was not because of the United States. We willingly went belly up to the United States. At
And
the
Kalishta,
at the first opportunity to bow to white people, that's what the people who were leading us at the time did.
And
Go ahead,
Well,
Kalishta,
it's
Kenneth.
not. I was.
Kalishta, hold on, let's mark it 1 second. Kalishta, and that is the
Mm.
strategy that the United States uses because now, let me tell you about it. They know when the men sit down in the strategy room where they have the brilliant of men, the tech geniuses planning for us. The men sit down there and say, all right, I know they don't have food to feed the army for how much days, they don't have enough arms, they calculate everything, and they know all right, they can't even sustain any kind of fight. Throw one bomb here and that is it for them. Even China don't taking that chance with America because America have the most powerful army. So China take it, China go the route of economic and information warfare with it. Because China know when time comes for bomb and gun and navy seals and army, they cannot play with America. So we cannot be little Grenada go with a suicide mission and feel because we strong and we passionate and so on. That is suicide. We have to be smarter. We have to be smarter and it pains my heart to see us getting riled up again and letting our emotions lead us and not cognitive reasoning, or we could put things in place to be successful. I don't want to fight no losing battle. You understand? I don't want to fight no half-dead battle. When I do so, 2 days and you can sustain it. Yeah, wars that going for 6 years and things like Papi show and joke. We have to get serious. It's not a game. It's not a game, man. because we see the effects of that, and we cannot go down that road again. Watch today. My thing is, when I look at the riots in America, I was shocked to see how when all them people was looting and so on and burning the place, where them police was. It's like if the America, it's like if Trump say, police stay, let them do thing, let me get them doing thing on camera. So then after a while, I could bring this serious post and drop it on them because I had justification. Because I branding news all the time about thugs and the hooligans and all kind of things. So we can't get caught in that in them kind of system there again. We have to outsmart and outwit and outlast. Because this is not a 2 day game. You Miss Macron, you talk about Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch was a plan for 400 years. So if you can beat a plan for 400 years with 2 days, just get up passionate. Because when it get tough, you have to have things in place to keep you going. So I'll say it again. This is a time for us as African people because Marcus Garvey talk about it. Marcus Garvey talk about us looking to Africa. That is the home. That is the motherland. That is our nation state. And we have to make Africa strong. Like we could tell America, forget them. 50 million of people in 50 million African Americans in America. Africa have billions of people and land mass to hold people. The Caribbean is there. We have to seriously tell America we tired of you still up here in a racist country and find ways. It might be tougher, it might be harder. You won't have Gucci, you won't have all the nice AC and thing, but at least you're doing people that look like you, and we go figure it out and how we will move forward. So even those are options that we can look at. Because even in 1914 and 18 when Marcus Garvey was battling in Harlem and trying to liberate and unify the people, trying to get the Black Star Line to bring us to Africa and so on. He was facing the same fight. And he said, nah, Africa we heading. Because you find well now, it don't make sense trying to integrate in that system. 200 and something plus million white people. They are the top. They that power. You feel the white man go just give the black man that power so and say, come and sit down in the White House with me. They give us a black president in Obama to make us feel nice and easy. Oh, we had a black president and so forth. What really change? So we have to stop getting that program in and see the thing crucial. We have to educate the children so we could have brilliant scientists, brilliant engineers, brilliant technicians, brilliant statesmen, brilliant strategists. So when we call on we army, or we call on we team, we solid. Not people walking around with phone and laughing and giggling and streaming live. Serious business we're dealing with because our future depends on it. This is not a drill. This is serious business.
These people that we have all them there, it's all about getting together. We have some of the best doctors, some of the best scientists, some of the, if you look in the American army, right? It seems when I look at it, it seems like 99% of them, what we need is unity. And I think if we need leadership, right? We need good leadership. We need people that would lead us. This type of weak leaders that we have there, that giving everything our ancestors has worked hard for, right? What we need is leadership. And if we get the right leaders, and that is the reason why now Africa is calling for all these doctors, some of the best. When you go into England, if the nurses, and they must go back to Africa, or the Caribbean, the National Health Service will fall. And I'm sure maybe the same in America. All the top people, what we need, we need to get rid of these corrupted leaders. Right? As long as we do not get rid of them corrupted leaders, this is what is going to be happening. We need to get rid of these corrupted leaders. In China, you talk about China. If China caught you in corruption, you'll be lucky to have your life. And that is what we need. All this corruption that we have, where people are going and raiding all our treasury and not giving any account for what is going on. That is what we need to do. But we have the people there. And once we get strong leaders, things are going to change. If not, the youths that is looking up to us are going to take matters into their own hands because they are frustrated. I saw something today where a 45-year-old was saying to a 31-year-old and a 16-year-old, am I going to be saying, is it the same thing, the same thing, the same thing all the time? We are in a war. Remember when they had the bombing of the Twin Towers? America and them came out and they said, we are in a war. And it's, as long as we as Black people does not realize that we are in a war, we will start start looking for what? We are in a war. The war come to us. Let us fight the war. And every war you negotiate. After a while, when people are tired of killing each other, then we will negotiate.
Go ahead, Kitaka.
No, I was passing the ball to you because I just had the ball in my hand there, you know. But I mean, this is
Well, I
something I'm
mean,
very passionate about.
it's this is 2020, and a violent engagement, you know, uh, a war with against the races in the United States is not what the solution is. I think it's about Ms. McQueen said it. We need to unite, and it's about strategizing, amassing greater power, financial power, and other kinds of power, so that you can make your move, and you find that some black people are moving up, they are gaining power, they are getting into positions of power. But I don't believe the results I'm seeing, I don't believe that their focus is about carrying the race with them. I think that, a black person who makes it, the first thing to do is get out of their neighborhood. Even here in Grenada, the first thing people do when they can afford it is head to the south to Lansapine or those kinds of neighborhoods. They don't stay in the little neighborhood. Very few people who make it and who can afford $800,000 house or a $1.2 million house will stay in the little community. Even just here in Grenada, people will always move into the more affluent situation. In the case of the United States, it is moving into the more, because a lot of white people are the ones who are in the affluent areas, and have the financial power and so on. We head straight there into those communities, and then you complain when your black son is walking home in a predominantly white rich neighborhood because you ran and bought a house there and abandoned your little hood where you used to be before when you were coming up. And then you complain that your black son was stopped by the police because the police is wondering what he's doing in a $5 million homes community. So sticking together, recognizing ourselves and seeing beauty in ourselves, understanding the extent of our intellect and our talent and our creativity, and yes, our physical strength, that is important. Everybody's trying to hold hands around a campfire with these mixed race relationships, and I say these mixed race relationships is just another raiding and raping of the black people. And it sounds kind of conspiracy theory-ish, but I'm going to say it right now, that I don't all of these white men and all these white women who are rushing to get into relationships and have children with black people, I don't think it's about just they're so enlightened, and they're not racist at all and they love black people. I think that they understand that with climate change, or with what's going on with the sun, that they need to strengthen their race. And I think that they are now use mixed race relationships that are becoming so predominant is another attempt to strengthen their race. And I keep saying, these black men who are rushing and searching for a white woman to get married to because they believe white women are better than black women and vice versa, are making a mistake, that they need to stick with their own race and strengthen their own race instead of passing on that melanin, which has become a very important substance for the white race, for their survival. 50, 20, 30 years from now, our skin is going to be even more of an asset to us, just from a health standpoint. And I think that this is another strategy, but we're buying into it. Have you ever seen a black man walk? Black men, you hardly see them walking down the road holding the hands of their black women. You ever see a black man who have a white woman? He can't don't hold hand and kiss up in the middle of the road because he's so proud to have a white woman on his arm. So we need to begin to see beauty in ourselves and recognize ourselves, so the power that we are, and come together. But when we ourselves, we believe, there's so many black people believe that we are inferior, and
One of the things
as long as we believe that we are inferior, guns are not going to help us. The
one of the
change,
things I
the
think we
war
should
has to be upheld.
One of the things I think we should start doing is to start teaching Black history in our school. I do not, I think, when I was growing up in school, I never knew Black people came from Africa. because it wasn't in our history book. What I was taught was when the white people came to the Caribbean, and there was the Arawaks and the Caribs. There was nothing. I was never told. We were never taught that we were bought. Our ancestors was bought over on slave ships, and how many of them died in the Middle Passage, and what they went through. We have to start. It does not matter how much we sit down and plan. If we do not know if we haven't got strong roots, anything come, it will blow us away. We have to teach our young people about our history, and we have to think that everything that is black is bad. I remember the first time I took my kids to Africa. I remember my daughter saying to me, "Mom, where is all the black people that is starving?" When I went to Nigeria, I remember when I went to Nigeria the first time, I thought, wow, every black person should come to Africa. Africa is the most beautiful places. You see people there that look like you. You see somebody say, oh my God, there is Kalistra. My God, look at how you see people that is you. You see people when they smile, that brightness, this gentleness. It's funny. I never could understand why people are scared of black people. As Nelson Mandela said, if we were bad people, we would have killed all white people already, because we are so bad, but they still give us their children to look after. We are maids in their house. We do everything. You've seen photos of where black women are breastfeeding white babies. We are go to Africa, we are very gentle people, because the type of things that's been done to us, when you look at our history, and we're not beaten, because I know I would never want to see a white person demonstrating out there being killed. I couldn't stand by and see a black policeman putting his neck on a white person's neck. I wouldn't stand up for it. And there is a lot of white people that will not stand up for that as well. So it's
Ms.
not
Margaret,
about
you make a point there now, strengthen a point, because you talk about education. And I also think that yes, education is crucial, but we even have to even go further than slavery. Because I think, and Mutabaruka said it, slavery is an interruption of African history. We have to go way back. We have to go back when Africa was in its glory and its pride, where people could understand that the European culture and even what we see now from what America and all the other countries building on is from when Alexander the Great and the men go and loot and thief in the libraries and them in Timbuktu and in Egypt and so on. So we have to really go way back to see the way that the society was set up, the kind of structures in the community, the councils and all those things, how all the women operated, how the men operated, how we work together. I mean, you make another point. Sometimes our love and humanity has been our greatest strength, and sometimes it has been our greatest weakness, because we have always seen the universal humanity within each other, and we have always been welcoming to everybody else. But how that has been biting us in the butt as well simultaneously. So it may have come a situation where we see Africa for the next 10 years, we have to focus on ourselves, black first, and everything else after, to really get things in order. Because I mean, in Africa, when the white man came to get slave and so on, he was able to come and get integrated and get to the business there. We was not hostile towards them. Even though in America in the 1960s, when they was doing the civil rights movement, the integrationists and the segregationists are going at it, because some still we do it for ourselves, some still we accommodate them. So there's a lot going on, but the point that I made about history is important for us to teach our children the glory of Africa. Teach our children the power that they hold. Teach our children about spirituality, where they could really tap into themselves and realize the divine potential, so that we could become and return to our glory as a people. Because we surely give the light of civilization to this world in this current era. Africa is the cradle of civilization. Even though Apple and all them countries cannot do it at Africa when it comes to resources. So we have to see that pride and walk with that lower head held high. And as Carista say, in that now we'll be able to put our petty prejudice aside and unite and walk and get it done. Because we can do it, we shall do it, and we have to do it.
And on that note, we're out of time on the program. Miss McQueen and Kitaka, please say goodnight to Saisha Williams. He's been trying to get some attention on the program. for the longest while. So say hi to your very good friend, Saisha Williams.
Hi, Saisha. Thanks for coming on.
Sasha, Sasha,
Thanks for the
things been hot.
support.
Could not watch comments tonight, boy, but yeah.
So
um, Final
yes,
comments, ladies. Because
well, I don't think we don't. I think we all made our final comments. The conversation continues for the rest of the week, viewers. So please do join us on the program tonight. We talked with Rudolph from the from the St. John's Bus Association about the problems that they're having. They're hoping to engage with government in a meaningful way to get some subsidies and some support for the very important essential service of public transport. And of course, for the last hour or so, we've been talking about the George Floyd situation and the position of Black people in the world, and the difficulties we face, and exploring, how we can possibly overcome what's going on. So thank you very much for joining us, viewers. Raphael Arthur has been on, Bob Marley show, Kurt Licorice was on as well, and of some of our regular viewers. We had somebody from Syria, or somebody who said they're Syrian. Actually, they didn't. I'm not sure where they're viewing from. So thank you for viewing, and join us next time. We'll be on Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. It's Conversation 473 with Rolanda Kitaka and myself. But just before I go, I just want to say that a very important initiative which Miss McQueen spoke, which Rolanda spoke about at the start of the program, where she has challenged the cabinet ministers to put their money where their mouth is. She has put her money where her mouth is. As you know, on the program on several occasions, she did say that she would be giving a percentage of her salary for just to assist people in her community. And this weekend, this end of month, when she received her check from Montpure, she's an employee of Montpure as well. And when she received her check from Montpure, she would have gone ahead, and went ahead and made a donation of 25% of her monthly salary, and she's going to continue to do this for a while the coronavirus is crisis, the impact of the crisis is still being felt, because as you know, a lot of people are struggling financially, a lot of families can't eat. So she's going to be helping a few families in her community of St. David to access food, and a very important gesture here. And what Miss
Prosciutto.
and Miss McQueen
Prosciutto
is
Mama Can Coffee.
Miss McQueen is challenging the ministers in the cabinet to give up a percentage of their salaries, um, even as a gesture, and also to provide assistance. I know that cabinet members in the region have said that they have taken a pay cut. Here in Grenada, our ministers have not taken a pay cut. Not surprised that they haven't. I would be more surprised if they did announce that they were going to take a pay cut. But a private citizen, a business owner, going ahead and taking that big step. So on behalf of the nation, Rolanda, I would like to thank you.
yeah, Miss McQueen. We know so now we have our differences, but I love and appreciate that initiative where you do your thing and
Well,
put your money where your mouth is. So
well,
grateful for
this,
helping out the community.
these are the people that when I was growing up, they say it take a village to raise a child. And when I went to Africa, I remember an African friend says to me, "It does not matter we leave the village, but we only are one step away from the village." And it's much is given, much is expected, and I'm happy that I'll be able to give my community, the children from the Crochet School. We are organizing it. I'm doing it with Wayne Jones, where Miss Barker had her old shop. So we'll be giving out vouchers. So by this week, I'm going to be printing it as well, and where they could be able to go and get food shopping. So if anybody listening and they know anybody from my community, I would like to do it. I can't do it for everyone. If they know anybody in my community that needs a help, they can let us know.
All right, thank you very much. I see Raphael Arthur is commenting. He's one of our regular viewers and one of our biggest supporters. He's watching every night. And he says, I need to participate in the panel. Now, I'm not sure if it was he wanted to come in on this panel. We are out of time. So we will be, or if he just wants to come on at some point as a guest. So Raphael Arthur, we will get in touch with you to find out. So whatever thoughts you have, keep them together, and we would be happy to have you on the program tomorrow night. That's Tuesday night, or any night during the week that you are available. Because we just seen the comment, and we're actually out of time right now. So thank you everybody for viewing, and good night.
It is time for Grenada to define for herself what independence means.
What has happened here this morning has made me feel confident to face the future with fortitude, strength, and with hopefulness.
People begin to understand that all lives don't have to be so hard. Things can change,
We are all currently facing the same crisis and very similar challenges. And no one can afford to be myopic or bigoted in this fight. We have no choice but to work together.
We have heard the call, and we are determined to come out of this pandemic greater than we entered.